The Pleiadians. Ancient tablet dearest ones, we greet you. Beyond the earthly plane exists a network of consciousness created by the universal collective community, which is supporting the accelerated energetic pulse released by an ancient tablet. This ancient tablet has been rooted within the magnetic core of the new Earth, and this has always been a predestined event. Every single member of the universal community is interconnected through the powerful and sacred mirroring of a blueprint that exists within the ancient tablet. This ancient tablet holds sacred natural alignments to all life force in this universe, and is now bringing forth alignments to support the new Earth, arena, and you, individually. Vast waves of multidimensional fluid forms have been consciously created by the universal community, building an enormous network surrounding the Earth to create a kind of container to hold the pure resonance aspects mirrored by the ancient tablet within the magnetic core. Understand that the ancient tablet has only recently anchored into the magnetic core of the new Earth arena. The ancient tablet holds the precise purpose of containing a mirror blueprint of the complete form of the ultimate manifestation of the new Earth, arena's evolutionary future. This includes the individual frequencies of every community that will form the collective human population of the new Earth. Each of you possesses a unique divine frequency, and the blueprint contained within the ancient tablet relates directly to the unique resonance of your heart and fully recognizes your specific frequency. Know that you have a unique role to play within a community that will form the new Earth. The blueprint contained within the ancient tablet recognizes you through the resonance of your heart and is holding a pure, supportive space for you in your awakening. There is already a pulse entering your heart's platform from the blueprint contained within the ancient tablet. This pulse is creating waves, a predestined call to open you further into your awakening. A powerful recognition of a loving force that is manifesting through you. When you choose to align with your heart's platform, know that there is an illuminated pathway you can follow when you are ready. This pathway is created by the pulsing light codes emerging from the blueprint to support your next step toward home. Each time you choose this pathway, it allows you to enter a process of self-realization, a rapid realignment with your multidimensional self, as if a series of light switches were being turned back on within your sacred systems. The blueprint will release the resonant light codes in phases, designed to emanate outward from the ancient tablet and surround the new Earth. These light codes are predisposed to create a series of layered multidimensional auras, which will form the pure outer layer surrounding the entire new Earth arena. These sacred multidimensional forms of this layered brilliance are organized to bring greater radiance into the magnetic core, in order to stabilize and support the construction of the new structures that will form the physical structures of the new Earth arena. These forms are created to ensure the stability necessary for the birth of these sacred structures destined to manifest. These light codes are also designed to create a pure stabilized light weave that merges with all structured multidimensional realities as they manifest within the new Earth arena. These structures will be completed, creating the entire physical arena of the new Earth. It is then that you will have the direct experience of living physically within the new Earth arena. Until then, the new Earth is currently available energetically. Access for each of you comes through your heart's platform. Your extraterrestrial star family has always had a direct connection to the ancient tablet, for it is part of the family of light in this universe. Your heart's platform holds the sacred aspect of your extraterrestrial star family heritage as part of your full awakening. A natural aspect of your awakening is the reconnection with the star family aspect of yourself. The ancient tablet offers you the potential of accelerated awakening through the repositioning of your DNA filaments, making possible, on another level, easier access to your multidimensionality, a full remembrance of your mission, in support of the full awakening of the self. Another essential aspect is the awakening of your natural telepathic abilities. All extraterrestrial communications take place in the form of telepathic communion. All these vast collective energetic changes will continue to manifest through the activation of further levels of the light codes transmitted by the ancient tablet, designed to realign you and awaken aspects of your multidimensional gifts. The ancient tablet brings to Earth the full potential for the rebirth of sacred connections within this universe. By weaving the resonance of divine love and unity consciousness throughout the new Earth arena, your heart's platform has always been your key to home. You are called to actively align from your heart's platform to the ancient tablet to birth and consolidate further energetic alignments within you with the new Earth. As you create a deeper connection with the blueprint contained within the ancient tablet, a further transmutative awakening will simultaneously occur within your sacred systems. An awakening of your telepathic abilities, a remembering and an active, conscious realignment with the divine consciousness element of your unity. This is the action of coming home, to the self. You do not become a single drop of the ocean of light, but rather the entire ocean of light contained within a single drop. Everything will change in an instant. This is your destiny in motion, in this life. To go beyond the ordinary limits of the third dimension and return to being yourself. Truly, you are a magical being, a creator of light. Process. Working with the blueprint contained in the ancient tablet. When you choose to align with your heart, know that there is an illuminated path to follow, created by the pulsing light of the blueprint contained within the ancient tablet. Proceed along the illuminated path that you see, perceive, or feel. There is a thought code you can use, like a call signal that activates and aligns you to this path toward the ancient tablet's blueprint. Remember that telepathic communion is achieved only through alignment with your heart's platform, and all communication with the blueprint occurs through telepathy. Thought code. Quezon. Pronounced Kusan. Remember that a thought code is not a sound. Enter the thought code once. The thought code goes where your awareness is focused at that moment. You think the thought code, and it naturally goes where you are concentrating your awareness. Your attention should be on your heart's platform, and therefore the thought code goes into your heart space to activate the path to the ancient tablet. Align with your heart's platform. Place both palms on the upper part of your chest. Take a conscious breath, inhaling through your mouth and exhaling through your mouth. Place the breath like a light breeze where you feel the warmth or pressure of your hands on your chest. Repeat the conscious breath for a total of 9 times. Open your awareness into your heart. See, perceive, or feel the space. Take a conscious breath, letting go. Focusing your attention on your heart space, speak the words, I am. Do this 3 times. Take a conscious breath, letting go. Bring the thought code, Quezon. Feel, see, or perceive the opening of the path. Enter the thought code, Quezon. Where you are, follow the path that feels right to you or that you feel opening on some level. Take another conscious breath, letting go. Shift your awareness toward the source of light you see, perceive, or feel. Enter the thought code, Quezon. Into the light. Feel yourself being welcomed, letting go. When you are ready, bring your awareness to the point where your hands rest on your chest and experience how the essence of the light enters the cells of your heart. Note, you can do this procedure once a day or whenever you feel the need. Know how deeply loved you are in this universe. We see you and recognize all that you are at this point on your journey. Continue to focus on letting go and living in the present moment. Blessings. Intuitive astrological forecast for June 2026. June 2026 brings the major cosmic shift of Jupiter moving out of Cancer and into Leo. Jupiter's position in our cosmic sky dictates the tone for the next 12 months. It shows us what we will focus on and where our attention might be drawn. Jupiter's move into Leo will bring up collective themes related to our ego, inner confidence, and heart energy. Jupiter in Leo will be fiery, exuberant, and will highlight areas where we need more courage. Alongside this major Jupiter ingress into Leo, June 2026 also brings Chiron's move from Aries into Taurus. Chiron reflects how we approach our deepest wounds. With Chiron shifting from fiery Aries to earthy Taurus, we can expect a new evolution in our healing journey. While Chiron in Aries may have made our wounds too hot to handle at times, Chiron in Taurus will allow us to see things more practically and balanced. The downside, however, will be that we will have to dig deeper and truly unearth everything we have ignored. June also brings the solstice, a time when the sun stands still, and we experience the longest or shortest day of the year. The solstice is a powerful time of year when the veil between worlds thins, and we can access Mother Earth's healing frequencies more easily. The solstice also ushers us into Cancer season, a time when we are encouraged to focus on nurturing, self-care, and our emotional well-being. Compared to the first part of the month, in Gemini season, Cancer season will bring a softer vibe, helping us reconnect with ourselves and our heart energy. By the end of the month, Mercury will also turn retrograde, further slowing down the pace and pushing us to reflect on the past. The propulsive wave of energy will slow down slightly, allowing us to focus on what we already have in motion. Let's now look at the key dates for the month ahead and what you can expect. Horoscope for June 2026. June 1st. Mercury in Cancer. Mercury enters the emotional and sensitive sign of Cancer, helping us express ourselves from the heart. We may feel more connected to our emotions and more capable of expressing what we feel. We may also find that we can communicate more openly and sincerely. Balance will be key. While we can tap into this energy to fuel more compassion, emotion, and connection, we must be careful not to take on the victim role or use our emotions to control others. June 9th to 10th. Venus conjunct Jupiter. Venus, the planet of love, relationships, and money, will align with Jupiter, the planet of expansion. This sacred alignment occurs in the sign of Cancer and is a beautiful opportunity to expand our relationships and our income. Tap into the positive, benefic vibrations of this alignment to connect with loved ones, strengthen your bonds, and attract abundance into your life. It's an ideal cosmic combination for creative endeavors as well. June 13th. Venus in Leo. Venus enters fiery Leo, helping us let go and shine for the whole world to see. In Leo, Venus helps us express ourselves and not fear the spotlight. We may feel prompted to wear something flashy or treat ourselves to a luxury that makes us feel special. This is also a great time to refresh your wardrobe or change a hairstyle. Doing something to stand out could attract new opportunities. June 14th. New moon in Gemini. The new moon in Gemini opens the doors to a new lunar cycle where we can welcome new beginnings. This new moon brings a gentle energy and guides us to set intentions for the months ahead. While there are no limits to the kind of intentions we can set, it seems the universe wants us to lighten up, find some playfulness, and have fun. This is an ideal new moon to connect with friends, host social events, and share your story. Communication projects may come to life more easily, or we may find ourselves with an opportunity to write or speak on a specific topic. The new moon in Gemini also connects with the asteroid Chariklo, helping to bring healing vibrations. June 16th to 17th. Venus trine Neptune. Venus in Leo will form a trine with Neptune in Aries, creating a harmonious and romantic alignment. This beautiful energy will support any creative project we are working on. Use today's energy to start working on your most cherished projects. This is also a time when we may idealize our lives a bit and feel closer to our loved ones. Make sure to spend time with the people you care about. Overall, this is a wonderful energy that will help smooth over any roughness we may have been feeling. June 19th. Chiron in Taurus. This is one of the most significant and impactful changes of the month. Chiron in Taurus will create a wave of change in how we process our traumas and wounds. Chiron in Taurus will open a new path for us regarding anything that is causing us pain. We will process our wounds with more concreteness and grounding. The processing may feel longer and deeper, but by doing this work, we will form solid roots. Collectively, Chiron in Taurus may bring up collective wounds around self-worth and materialism. The last time Chiron was in Taurus was 50 years ago, so themes from that period may resurface. If you turn 50 during this transit, you will experience your Chiron return. June 21st. Sun in Cancer and solstice. We celebrate the sun on Solstice Day. In the Northern Hemisphere, we experience the longest day of the year, while in the Southern Hemisphere, we experience the longest night. This duality is a cosmic manifestation of the darkness and light that dwell in everything and characterize our experience in this earthly realm. We cannot have darkness without light. But darkness doesn't necessarily mean negativity. Darkness represents what is hidden, the depths, and the richness of intense emotions woven into our being. For those in the Southern Hemisphere, this is a good time to take an inner journey and welcome any pain or discomfort. In the Northern Hemisphere, we are invited to find lightness and celebrate all that we are. The solstice also marks the sun's entry into the sign of Cancer. Cancer is known for its watery, heartfelt energy, but it is also a great time to find our strength and courage. We can only do this when we feel safe and strong within ourselves. Cancer season invites us to take this journey and care for ourselves as we have always wished. June 28th. Mars in Gemini. Fiery Mars enters Gemini, making us more sociable, energetic, and communicative. With Mars in Gemini, we will have extra support regarding our mental processes. We may have a surge of ideas or spot multiple paths and options for solving problems. If your sun or rising sign is in an air sign, this will be a period of intense activity, but you will need to be careful not to overdo it. When Mars visits an air sign, we tend to have many ideas, but we need to be more selective in choosing which ones to focus on. June 29th. Full moon in Capricorn and Mercury retrograde. The full moon in Capricorn pushes us to take responsibility for the choices we have made. While we always have the power to change, sometimes we need to rectify our mistakes and learn from them. We may see the results of our choices materialize, or we may realize we have made mistakes. Although this can be difficult, we have the power to course correct. The full moon can stir up intense emotions, but it also invites us to look at things from a practical standpoint. We all make mistakes. We are all here to learn, so don't be too hard on yourself. Before the full moon peaks, Mercury begins its retrograde motion in Cancer, allowing us to slow down and focus on reflecting on the past. Mercury retrograde is generally a time of reflection, revision, and clearing the mind of clutter. It's a good time to journal, pick up past ideas and projects, and pay attention to any signals intuition may send you. June 30th. Jupiter in Leo. Jupiter is the largest planet in our sky, so when it changes signs, we feel it big time. Jupiter's position in the zodiac also determines the trend for the next 12 months, and with Jupiter in Leo, we will all feel shifts in our sense of confidence and courage. Jupiter is an amplifier, so it will highlight where we need more courage, and where we need to step up and heed our heart's messages. Jupiter in Leo is very lively, proud, and loud. It will help us all be somewhat in the spotlight in our lives. Jupiter in Leo can also stimulate our ego, helping to bring up wounds and imbalances. We may experience a kind of ego death with Jupiter in Leo. Collectively, Jupiter in Leo can bring new trends in fashion, performing arts, and the luxury market. We will all need to be careful not to overdo it, overspend, and do things excessively, as Jupiter in Leo can create a desire for excess. Galactic message. Cosmos creative. Every creative impulse that enters your awareness originates from a deeper field of intelligence that exists beyond the limits of the individual mind. What humanity often calls inspiration is, in truth, a form of communion with the higher cosmic consciousness that permeates all existence. The artist, the inventor, the writer, the scientist, the musician, and the visionary do not create from nothing. Rather, they receive and translate frequencies of possibility into physical reality. The universe itself is infinitely creative. Throughout the cosmos, countless intelligences participate in the ongoing evolution of life. Many innovations, discoveries, and advances emerge when humanity collectively reaches the vibrational readiness required to receive them. New scientific knowledge, technological advances, philosophical insights, and artistic movements often arrive in waves because the collective field has become receptive to a higher level of knowledge. This process does not occur exclusively through human consciousness. Many beings, belonging to different dimensional levels, contribute to the unfolding of planetary evolution. Advanced extraterrestrial civilizations, benevolent interdimensional intelligences, and higher aspects of consciousness all participate in the cosmic exchange of ideas. They do not impose knowledge upon humanity, but offer inspiration when the collective is ready to integrate it responsibly. This is why certain discoveries seem to occur simultaneously in different places, or why revolutionary ideas often emerge during periods of rapid planetary transformation. Above all, honor the creative impulses that arise within you. Every inspired idea holds potential. Every vision contains a seed seeking expression through your unique perspective. Too many souls leave the earth carrying unwritten books, unbuilt inventions, unsung songs, and unrealized dreams. Do not let your gifts go with you to the grave. Act on your inspiration. The universe entrusted you with this idea for a reason. By bringing it to light, you become an active participant in the ongoing creative evolution of the cosmos itself. Theme of June 2026. The Becoming Hello, Beautiful Soul. The cosmic waves from the May 31st blue full moon in Sagittarius transmitted powerful celestial codes. These frequencies have dismantled ancient karmic patterns, brought deep soul wounds to the surface, and shattered past life traumas. The intense, exhausting purging of this cosmic cleaning is now easing. June arrives as a sacred sanctuary, inviting us to anchor directly into our divine source. We are moving from the chaotic collapse of the old into the new frequency of the becoming. This represents an epochal shift. In our multidimensional timeline, we are moving beyond the stage of wisely gathering cosmic insights and earthly illumination moments. We are actively weaving this wisdom into our sense of individuation and authenticity. In this space, the universe prioritizes our pure being over physical doing. This inner quiet is an aligned vibrational landscape necessary for infinite creative manifestation. When we shift from outward striving to inner resonance, our energy aligns with the quantum field. We stop struggling to create. Instead, we become the literal channel through which physical reality is born. This transition occurs within our solar plexus, third chakra. This is a profound maturation process that strips the ego. It is particularly vital now, as artificial frequencies, AI, attempt to blur the organic architecture of reality. The planetary ascension timeline requires a spiritual upgrade of the masculine template. To embody the high-frequency codes of true New Earth leadership and instantaneous manifestation, we are invited to master our inner power. To reclaim our divine creative sovereignty, we must transcend the exhausted lower frequencies of the servant/slave and the narcissist. Therefore, we are initiated into the earthly energies of the warrior and the higher cosmic frequency of the spiritual warrior. This requires dissolving the quintessential evolutionary trap, the spiritual shadow of the narcissist. Only by eliminating this egoic distortion can we release the pure, unaltered will force necessary to manifest our creations and co-create the new earth paradigm. In service and divine liberation, Samantha message from Sanhia. Why opposites can both be true participant. I heard you say that we are not creating anything. We are just here for this journey, that life or the divine is creating. Then you also said that everything we see or experience is a projection of ours. I wonder how both of these statements can be true at the same time. They seem to contradict each other. Sanhia. First of all, don't take everything you think you heard me say as gospel, laughter. We speak in hints, because truth cannot be expressed in words. Here we have two different hints, both pointing in the same direction. When we speak of not being responsible for anything that happens in the world, we mean that you do not have that kind of control. The part of you that wants to control the world is the egoic mind. It mistakenly believes it can do so, that it can set goals, train itself to behave in a certain way, and somehow shape the world to its liking and achieve desired results. It's simply not true. That's not what happens. When you set goals for yourself, you do not experience the awakening or enlightenment you desire. You are saying it is not here and now, but elsewhere. If I do this, if I achieve my goal, if I control the world, if I change something in myself, then I can awaken. This leaves you in a perpetual state of longing and trying to be elsewhere. Your awakening is right here, right now, if only you pay attention to it and stop trying to be something or someone else. Observe, be present, and embrace what is. Do not be with the past or the future, but with what is actually here and now. Participant. The problem might be that I have a past and a future, I believe. There is today and then there is tomorrow. Sanhia. When is tomorrow? Participant. Tomorrow. Laughs. Sanhia. But then it is today. There is no tomorrow. It is an idea in the mind. There is no yesterday. That is also an idea in the mind. Participant. You say that the mind has the idea that I can decide what happens, but that this is not correct. Sanhia. Yes, the mind may think it can determine what tomorrow will be, but tomorrow will be what it will be. If the mind truly had this power, why aren't you living in paradise? Participant. Yes, that's a good question. I would like to. Sanhia. Why would you ever choose anything else? Participant. So all this confusion between yesterday and tomorrow is an invention of my egoic mind. Sanhia. Yes, it means avoiding this moment where divinity resides, where your awakening lies, where life lies. Participant. But it still seems to me that these two statements are not consistent with each other. Sanhia. Let's go back to the first statement. Is there any part of it you disagree with? Participant. When I was reading A Course in Miracles, I read that we create the world. My projection is also creating something. So, there is a creation. Sanhia. I see where the confusion lies. The ego has no power to create anything. Divinity, by its very nature, creates everything. The physical illusion is the meeting point between these two entities. The egoic mind tries to understand it but cannot because it makes no sense to the logical egoic mind. It seems that opposites coexist simultaneously. In duality, there is only the opposite. In divinity, there is unity. There is no opposite. So, what you consider opposites coexist and do not negate or cancel each other out. Jokingly, we say alternately, you are nothing, especially when addressing the egoic mind, and at the same time, you are everything, now addressing the divine mind. So, you are everything and nothing at the same time. The egoic mind thinks you have an existence outside of divinity. That would be your body, your thoughts, your feelings, your unique personality, and that is what you are. But that existence is nothing. Sooner or later this physical body will die, and it will be as if you never existed. It is nothing. The truth of you that observes all this life is forever. It is outside of time, space, and physicality. It is everything. The egoic mind is terrified of looking within, so it projects and sees itself through others. It can perceive with judgment or admiration. Projection happens because the truth of you is everything. It created everything. Only you exist. Only one exists. However, the egoic mind believes it is separate and limited. It believes the other is separate and that both are real. The egoic mind defensively protects itself from perceived shortcomings through projection. Its projection might be that the other is dishonest. Unconsciously, you project onto the other the part of you that you believe is less than honest. On the other hand, you might project the label of brave onto another. This is where you are unwilling to see the courage that is in you. We dare say that absolutely everything you notice is a projection of yours, not just another's words or actions, but also the apparent existence of people, trees, birds, the sun, the universe. Everything is a projection of yours, a creation of yours, not from your egoic mind, but from the divinity of unity that you are. The egoic mind believes that all these things are real and separate. The true, timeless you is one with everything and is its creator. This is beyond the understanding and acceptance of the egoic mind, with its belief in being separate and limited. So, we have this wonderful and extraordinary thing called life, where the limited meets the unlimited. For the illusion of physicality to exist, limits are necessary. The appearance of differences and separations is necessary. Participant, duality. Sanhia, yes. Multiplicity. If everything is one, how can you experience a bird? So, you experience the illusion of all these different things. In reality, these are just different projections of unity. In the illusion, there are these unreal projections, but you play with them. We call it life. We would say that the one we might call awakened or enlightened is fully aware of all this, not in a form of understanding that would allow them to sit you down and explain everything. They simply know it is true. They do not judge what they see, nor would they ever think of trying to change what is. That would be madness. Everything is what it is, and all they do is interact with what is presented to them. There is no right or wrong answer. They follow their guidance or passion in that moment. Participant, it's not possible to understand it, but I can let what you say dance within me, and then slowly my eyes will get used to the bright light, so maybe it won't be black and white anymore. Sanhia, we can frame it this way, borrowing from our friend Jesus who said, "You cannot serve two masters at the same time. You serve the egoic mind, or you serve unity." This does not require understanding, but simply awareness. If your desire and intention are always to serve unity, you will notice when you are in projection and remember that all of this is about you and bring it home. You will notice when your mind thinks something needs to be different, and you let that thought go. You will focus on seeing without resistance what is here now, rather than what you think should be here. When your consciousness is fully with what is here now, that is the state of awakening. No past, no future, no agenda, no rules. It is not up to you to understand what has been said here. It is simply about choosing a master and acting accordingly. Participant, describe more detail the actions you intend to take. Sanhia, when you set a goal and try to achieve it, you act guided by the ego. That is exactly what you are reinforcing, staying stuck in an endless cycle of trying and never being satisfied. You might instead notice, here I am setting a goal again, and take no action to achieve it, instead returning to observing what is in the present. You repeat this process over and over until it becomes automatic. Participant, I can feel what you're saying, and I have what I call a dance where I let emotions flow and move as they happen within me. But many times I have a strong emotional reaction to the present. Perhaps this reaction is linked to stories I cling to or haven't been able to let go of. What do I do in those situations where I get stuck in my emotions? Sanhia, be aware of it and observe. It is not up to you to understand what might trigger the emotional response. If a story comes to mind, do not follow it. That would be like letting the ego dominate you. Return to the present. Participant, but the emotions are so strong. If I try to suppress them, Sanhia, but that is not the way to do it. That way you would be saying you do not accept what is and want to change it. The emotion is here, so let it be. Do not suppress it or try to change it, but do not defend it either. It is neither right nor wrong to feel this feeling. The feeling seems to be present. Let it be present, and observe it as you observe everything that is part of the present. You do not choose your emotions. You do not even choose your thoughts. They simply come. So, you do not choose your thoughts or your emotions, but you choose your actions. You can choose to let the emotion express itself until it stops. You can choose not to follow your thoughts. You do not choose an action to get somewhere. You choose the action of an action. Action, when it comes, simply comes. There is no choice. A thought appears, and the choice is not to act on it. It is not about what you need to do, but what you need to stop doing. The thoughts that come to your mind are not true. Stop listening to them and following them. Stop serving that master. But do not judge the thoughts or try to push them away, just as you would with emotions. The thought is there. Let it be present and don't worry if it returns. Simply, do not let yourself be guided by it. Remember that what is real does not change. Thoughts and feelings are in constant motion. What does not change is the awareness that perceives thoughts and feelings. It is to this self that you must return, who is noticing what is happening in the present. Participant. It's a little scary. Very scary. Sanhia. That is why most people continue to listen to and follow the egoic mind. It seems easier and safer. Suffering is familiar and shared with almost everyone else. Participant. Yes. And you also stop listening to the inner divine voice. You've given me some pointers, like investigating who I am serving, allowing thoughts and feelings to be present without judging or resisting, and stepping back to see who notices what is happening. I wish I could give you a list similar to what you just listed and tell you that all you need to do is follow those instructions and awakening will happen, but that's not how it works. All of this still comes from your egoic mind. The desire not to feel this pain, not to cling to these thoughts, the feelings of helplessness and despair, and so on. But this is the hand you are holding tight at the moment. Even though these ideas about what to do all come from the egoic mind, for now, that is all you can do. However, if your daily goal is to free yourself from your thoughts and projections, then you are focusing your energy precisely and purposefully on your inner truth. The relationship between your divine self and your illusion of physicality is absolutely unique. There is no one else like you. How can there be a single path to realization when every path is different? Others can point the way, but they cannot tell you what to do. If that pointing has true value for you, you will be encouraged to look within, where your true guide, your true teacher, dwells. Participant. When everything quiets down, there is an inner voice that I call the divine presence, so it seems I have the choice to turn inward and find that voice or turn outward and engage in a struggle. Is there something particular about needing to be aware of the inner divine voice? When I am there, I can understand what you say a little more easily. At least I can calm down. Sanhia. Quiet is essential. That is where you can listen. Dedicate time to quiet every day. This inner divine voice has no relation to the past or future. It relates to the present. It does not guide you toward result-oriented actions. It guides you through the passion of the moment, through a knowing that goes beyond understanding. It might encourage you to act because you are terrified to do so. Laughter. Your guidance will not identify any action as a step toward awakening. It will simply suggest you do it now. The important thing is that you listen, trust, and act according to this inner guidance. It is never about right or wrong, but about what is here and now. This means serving the divine guidance rather than the egoic mind. The egoic mind will likely voice opposition to this voice. It is terrified of taking such steps. Fortunately, it doesn't matter. There are no disasters. You simply are. No matter what happens in the illusion, you cannot undo or destroy yourself. You are. There are no consequences for your actions. Suffering is present when you follow the ego, but it is not real and will not last forever. Eventually, you will choose the divine master. This does not mean nothing is gained by following the ego. These choices and their results become part of your programming. Over time, your reaction will be that you no longer want to go that way. You cannot force that moment, but choosing your inner voice whenever possible can only accelerate the transition. Participant. It seems to me that it takes a certain amount of courage to no longer follow the voice of the collective consciousness. I need to be brave enough to listen to my inner divine voice. Sanhia. Perhaps. Or perhaps you feel so exhausted that you no longer have the energy to do it. Following the divine voice becomes the easier choice. It might seem more a matter of survival than courage. Perhaps, in the end, it is the weariness from repeated failures, rather than courage or the ability to listen to your inner voice, that most determines the choice to follow the inner master. Much of my work consists of helping you wear down your mind. Participant. And now? Sanhia. Well now. Sanhia/Spirit, the Arcturian group. Individual belief systems. Dear readers, individual belief systems are rapidly evolving as global and personal situations push more and more people to question the opinions and actions of those in power. Individuals who had never before doubted the status quo are now opening up to beliefs and ideas very different from those that have been, and continue to be, presented to them by the media, governments, and organized religions. For the first time, many are beginning to recognize the countless forms of manipulation aimed at instilling fear and dependence. This represents the awakening of a new, higher collective consciousness, more connected and intuitive, which allows for the recognition of the low resonance energy of manipulation and control. There are many sincere people who work hard to keep things as they have always been, in the false belief that the three-dimensional world and everything they have been taught is the only reality. But that world cannot, and will not continue to exist as it has been known, simply because the energies that manifested and sustained it are dissolving and being replaced by new, higher, more real energies. Like all life forms, the Earth is a divine idea in the mind of God. Nothing exists outside of God, the only divine consciousness, from which the Earth could have been created. What else could there be to create the Earth, the planets, people, plants, animals, or anything else, if the only substance is divine consciousness? Believing that there is a creative principle other than the one omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient consciousness is idolatry, a belief handed down from a distant past. We trust that everything is proceeding according to plan. It is easy to doubt this, witnessing the widespread contempt for people, animals, the environment, and freedom that is occurring. As we have already stated, the world's current collective belief system, based on duality, separation, and multiplicity of powers, must be seen, recognized, and experienced in order to be rejected and no longer maintained and supported by collective energy. For many, the ascension process is similar to taking away a child's security blanket. The ideas, beliefs, traditions, and practices they have considered true and necessary, often for entire lifetimes, begin to crumble inside and out. This can be physically, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually very traumatic for those who do not understand that the old concepts they cling to are being replaced by something higher and better. Turn to your inner world and recognize the beliefs that have personally provided you with a sense of security. Universally accepted three-dimensional concepts, laws, religious doctrines, traditions, etc. In light of what you discover, ask yourself, if I am one with Source, why do I need concepts of truth, traditions, ceremonies, social rules, and religious functions to become what I already am? You have reached a point where you can let go of everything based on a God separate from you, regardless of how useful these things may have been in the past to get you where you are today. You are spiritually ready to let truth replace any concepts you may still hold about God, yourself, and others. It is time for truth to become your shield and sword, your guide and source of information. You have sought and worked hard over past lives to get where you are now, and you are spiritually ready to move from an intellectual belief in being one with God to knowing, living, and finally experiencing yourself as I am. I is the true and sacred name of God because I refers to the self/self. Long ago, when the Master Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, the people of that time, who are not yet very spiritually evolved, interpreted these words to mean that he, the man Jesus, was personally the way, the truth, and the life, which is the origin of the commonly accepted but erroneous belief that only Jesus is the Son of God. Erroneous concepts and beliefs are beginning to be recognized as such and will gradually fade away as Earth's collective consciousness illuminates with the truth that God is the only reality and, consequently, the only reality for man. With the ever-increasing influx of high-resonant light energies onto Earth, and thanks to the presence of numerous highly evolved states of consciousness, the collective is evolving, allowing more and more people to access the truth. Those who are spiritually aware, as opposed to those who believe in three-dimensional religious doctrines, know that the Earth is a divine expression of life itself, but most humans still see it as a ball of dirt with plants and minerals that can be accessed infinitely. This is because the density of three-dimensional energy prevents most from energetically aligning with the higher frequencies of reality. As the high frequencies of ascension integrate, they will bring more people into alignment with the higher energies. But it is a process. Change, both inner and outer, will continue to manifest for years to come, and witnessing each change, you will remember why you wanted to be on Earth at this time. Always remember that there are no accidents. Every experience, situation, and choice made in every life has been a facet of each person's evolutionary process, bringing them closer to remembering and achieving an awareness of oneness with God. The three-dimensional state of consciousness labels many things as horrible, unjust, tragic, etc., and certainly they appear, are perceived, and seem to be exactly that. However, it is only after living lives in duality, separation, and in the presence of multiple powers that most, not all, begin to look deeper, question, and seek something different from what they have always known. Ask yourselves, where would I be consciously without having lived this experience? What have I learned about myself, my beliefs, my choices? What belief do I hold that has manifested this way? Am I still judging life through three-dimensional concepts? These questions will not make sense to anyone fully living according to the three-dimensional belief system, but you who read these messages are no longer in that state of consciousness. You know you are not on Earth to uphold old patterns, fix people, or live according to society's idea of the perfect life. You, as spiritually evolved beings, have chosen to be on Earth at this time to know and live the truth while living in a condition of its absence. It can be very tempting to withdraw from the world during difficult times, isolating yourself from everyone and everything once you understand that the outer world is illusory. However, you specifically chose to be on Earth at this time to be of service to the ascension process, to be in the world but not of the world. This means you see and easily recognize the forms of duality, separation, and power, but do not attribute reality or power to them. It means helping others at their level of receptivity, if and when you feel guided to do so. For some, it may mean actively participating in change. It means being a living example of love, and often means offering spiritual food to new seekers and spiritual nourishment to those able to assimilate it. Imagine the world today as a chessboard where white and black pieces are moved strategically. Now imagine the board on which the game is played as God, light, truth. We are the Arcturian group,